Welcome back. It's Monday morning, and I posed the question this weekend to kind of hear what it is that everybody out there wants me to discuss, and what I can talk about, and things that you think are going to bring value and maybe informational for you. And one of the questions that was asked was, what kind of food should we avoid while doing CrossFit? Interesting question, and I think it opens up a lot of different things. But the main point that I want to make out of this is it doesn't matter what kind of workout regime you're doing. Nutrition basics are going to be the same, okay? We want to get the majority of our calories and our macronutrients and our micronutrients. We want to get all those from as much whole foods as we possibly can. Lean sources of protein, all the colors of the rainbow when it comes to fruit and vegetables, and then our quality fats, those kinds of things that are going to help with anti-inflammatory properties, okay? Really what that comes down to, omega-3s. Best source of that is going to be cold, fresh caught fish, cold water, fresh caught fish. But to get back to that question, there's nothing specific that you need to avoid while doing CrossFit, other than those things that apply to general fitness all the way around. So the things that we want to avoid processed foods where we can, all right? Easiest way to do that, stay out of the center aisles when you're in a grocery store. That's the best way that we can do that. When you start getting into things that are in boxes, that's where we start having some issues, okay? That means that they've been processed to a high level. They have to have a bunch of things added in them so that they don't go bad on the shelves. They use a lot of lower cost materials when processing those kinds of foods because, I mean, that's what they're in the business of, is making money. So what happens when we do that, when we eat those highly processed foods, we're getting a bunch of stuff that our body doesn't really know what to do with, or it's getting too much of certain things. And the certain things that we talk about when we eat those processed foods really come down to omega-6s, which are inflammatory fats, and omega-3s, which are anti-inflammatory. Really what we want is we want a ratio somewhere between 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Typical American diet's 1 to 20. So when we start talking about a lot of the joint issues and soreness, and this goes down a deep rabbit hole that I won't go down today, it leads to that ratio discrepancy leads to a lot of the chronic health problems that we're experiencing in society today. So to answer your question, there's not anything specific that you need to avoid for CrossFit, but there are things nutritionally that we want to avoid. Again, those processed foods being part of that. The other thing that we want to avoid doing when it comes to CrossFit or any kind of training is overeating. And that is another problem that we have in this country. And a lot of it just comes down because we don't understand portion size. What is a portion size? Well, the best way to calculate that out is to have a food scale and measure your food. So 4 ounces of lean beef, for example, that's going to be a serving size. A lean meat in general, doesn't necessarily have to be beef, but 4 ounces, that's what we're looking at. The problem that we get into is that we don't understand what 4 ounces looks like, and I would be willing to bet that the majority of people out there are not going to take a food scale with them to their local restaurant so that they can figure out exactly what their serving sizes are. So one of the tools that we like to offer, and we offer this to all of our clients, is we want to go through portion size estimates with you. You want to know what 4 ounces of lean beef is going to look like? A deck of cards. It's just that simple, right? Palm size. That's what we want to do when we go to eat, or we're out somewhere where measuring our food probably isn't a realistic possibility. Or if you're just one of those people who you're not taking it to that level, that's fine, but we still want to make sure that we're estimating our portion sizes and our calories correctly, and the best way to do that is to understand that. So 4 ounces of beef, 4 ounces of lean meat, chicken, fish, whatever it is, about a deck of cards the size of the palm of our hand. When we start talking about getting into other things, for our fats, serving size of fats is going to be about the size of our thumb. Avocado, olive oil, different things like that. That's what we want to use as a measuring device when we're out there looking at those kinds of things. Peanut butter, there's another one. A lot of people look at peanut butter as a protein source. Really, guys, that's a fat source. So that's what we're looking at. When we talk about our grains or our carbohydrates that way, we're talking about the cup of our hand. When we talk about portion sizes as far as greens and vegetables and fruits are considered, about the size of our fist, those are the kinds of things that we can use to estimate what our portion sizes are, and it's going to keep us pretty close to what we've got going on or what we need. And then from there we can start honing things down so that we're getting the appropriate amount of nutrition in our body. We're not overemphasizing one area or another, and we're staying well balanced. You guys saw the video that I posted earlier, or a picture, I guess, not really video, talking about that foundation. And what is the foundation for fitness, for health? It's nutrition. Everything's got to start with nutrition. So as soon as we understand portion size, that's when we can start getting into really building a solid foundation. On top of that, we're going to talk about what are the good foods to eat. Again, whole foods, and we want to stay away from that processed stuff. So I hope that answers your question a little bit. If you got any other questions, comments, concerns, please do not hesitate to hit me up, and have a kick-ass day, guys.